gonna be. My name is Jillian. This is Jillian Camps Arizona, and today we're just going to do a quick video on the pros and cons of what is the new tent as compared to the old tent. So this is they're actually the exact same tent, but as you can see, the old tent is in this green bag and then the new tent is in the black bag. But I set them both up back here, and I'm going to go ahead and do a pros and cons video just to kind of describe to you why I like this tent in general. Why did I decide to buy it again, and what went wrong with the old tent as to why I needed a new one. So well, let's go ahead and get started with that. So I'm going to do a quick pros and cons video for this, and I just thought I'd point out that I have both of these tents set up so that you can see the differences. And from owning the one tent and not, you know, owning the same tent again, there's definitely pros and cons. So there's a lot more pros though, and that's why I ended up just getting the same tent again, you know. So the pros are, it's a long list. You know, I really love the porch. You know, I know it seems kind of silly, but it keeps the bugs off. It's just an additional thing, and honestly it does not make the tent that much bigger. So you just have this little portion of the tent, and it allows you to have room for like a small chair, and then I put like a light on this side so I have it well lit at night, and it turns out really nice. So I really like the way it's set up, and it's perfect for just one person. It's almost like a castle for me, you know what I mean? So the one con though I wanted to show you is the door, and you can see here that this door is pretty stretched out, and you can see why. So when the zipper goes up to the top here, it can't zip out this way or that way, right? It just zips up straight. So every time you unzip it, you have to either unzip the bottom or you just have to squeeze through. And what I usually do is I squeeze through just the crack, but over time it, you know, it stretches out, so it kind of hangs loose there. And I wish that they would have done it on the top instead, so that you can step in and then just zip it back up with ease, instead of having to kind of squeeze yourself through the crack every time, or bend down and unzip the bottom pieces every single time. So another thing I like about this tent is that it's called a water basin tent, or like a basin tent, and what that means is that the waterproof piece, it kind of curves, so you can see here that this is all waterproof here, and that allows you like an additional 5 inches from the bottom, you know, so that way you get lots of waterproofing area in case it floods before it reaches the seam, because the seam, you know, those are bound to be not waterproof, right? You have to spray them with some type of leak proof or sealant in order to seal it in, but this is like the basin. So it comes up a little on the wall before it starts with the seam. The seam doesn't start at the bottom on a lot of cheap tents that you see. So another pro I really like, and I think I mentioned this in the other videos, but I really like the fact that it has all this mesh. I mean, it's just super nice to have all this mesh, and then 3 windows. I get so much airflow, and that doesn't even include all the mesh in the front too. So if there's even a light breeze, it's going to catch it. And if you stake out, and you can kind of see what I was talking about, where if you only do one thing, you need to stake out the back, because otherwise the tarp, the rainfly, will just lie flat against the mesh and you won't have any airflow. So even if you're not going to get any rain, there's 100% no chance of rain, you know what I mean? There's just no chance of rain. Be sure to stake out the back rainfly. That way you can do it. And a lot of people ask me, they're like, why do you use the rainfly in Arizona? Because you know it's not going to rain. And I say, what if it does? Because I don't want to have an emergency on my camping trip. So I don't know, I'm one of those people that I always use a rainfly. I'll just put it on. I don't really care if it's going to rain or not, even in Arizona. Number one, it gives you some shade to the tent during the daytime. So even though it might be a little hotter in here, you know what I mean? So usually the rainflies are white in color in order to reflect the sunlight from the day. And, you know, I don't really want to have an emergency on my camping trip. I don't want to have to run out there at 3 in the morning and have to stake out my rain fly when it starts pouring on me. And because this is all mesh, you know, it'll just drip right on you if it starts raining even a tiny bit. And the third thing is too, is that even though it's in Arizona, even though we're in the desert, it still will get dew in the morning. So the rain fly just kind of keeps the dew away from the tent, and instead the dew will collect on the rain fly, and then it'll just drip off instead of it collecting, say, on the tent or anything. Especially if it does drop down. You know, it is a desert, so the temperature drops during the nighttime, and that means that there could be dew collecting on the tent. So those are my three main reasons for not, you know, I don't really want to have an emergency during the nighttime. I like that the rain fly appears to give me shade during the day, as it's kind of, you know, it's pulled away from the tent, so it's not just baking the tent. And then the third thing is, you know, it keeps me away from the dew, especially. So, and I've had that plenty of times where it says no rain in the forecast, and it ends up being, you know, there ends up being a little sprinkle during the nighttime. So I'm always glad, I'm more glad to have the rain fly more often than I'm not, you know. And there's only a couple times where I slept without the rain fly, but you know, it was fine. But at the same time, I'm just like, I would never do that again. I would want to use the rain fly. So that's just what I do. Here it wore through why I got rid of this tent, and you can see here that it's all pretty ripped up. This actually leaks now because it's got a big hole in it, and it's all ripped up through there too. And let's see, it's mostly this one, honestly, but there's one of them too has got like holes. There it is. So this one has holes too in it. It's all ripped. There's another hole. So when it rained last time, it kind of dripped on me. I was pretty upset, so that's just why I decided to get another one, because it's kind of silly to keep a tent where it's got big holes in it. I tried duct tape, and then the duct tape wore out and everything, so I was like, forget it. And then it started getting stretched out too. So, but hey, 3 years, I was pretty happy with that. So, but yeah, you can also see too on the poles where it's getting worn from where the clips have worn it down. You can kind of see that there, and you can see where it's worn because of the it's pretty bad on this pole actually, but it's wearing down the pole a lot actually. And you can see where the clips have worn it down because of the wind and whatnot. So even the Velcro straps, you can see how it's like a paler color there because of that. So that's just why I decided to get another tent instead of messing around trying to fix the poles or whatever, because these poles are pretty stretched out. You can even see like this one's curved and that one's curved. This one's definitely curved. That one's curved too, but I'll show you here in a minute for those. Okay. Thank you so much for watching this Jillian Camps Arizona video. Feel free to hit that like button if you like this content and you want to see more like it. Also, if you're not currently following me and you want to follow me around, feel free to hit the subscribe button below, or you can follow my Facebook page. That's at Jillian Camps Arizona. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.